Hey everyone, Melanie Muenchinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Today I have a new project for you with one of my past favorite sets, Gifts from the Sea. I am so excited for a spring break and I am so ready for the beach, even though we're not going there this year, but I am making a beach card anyway. I made this for our challenge last week at Stamp TV. The challenge is over now. We had to take a week off because we were promoting the kit, but also because I had a cough. I tried to record it and it just wasn't happening. So anyway, thanks for your patience and waiting a week for this single layer project. Going to be doing just a little sponging here to create the water and the sand. We're also going to be using the speckle image that I have in this set to create some texture here, and then just some scratch paper to mask and reverse mask some waves. Love this design, very easy to recreate with this set. Very minimal supplies, just need some stamp pads, sponge daubers, and some cardstock. So in addition to the Gifts from the Sea set from Gina K Designs, I've got just a piece of the Gina K Pure Luxury Heavy Base Weight White cardstock. We're not doing any coloring today, so you don't have to worry about your coloring going through, but I always like to use the base weight white for card bases just because it's so nice and thick and sturdy, really a luxury feel for your card. I have just two sponge daubers that I'm using for my brown and my blue. You could wash in between, but you really want to have several sponge daubers for your different colors so they don't get muddy if you're using them on one project. Just a small block for those images and the greeting. The ink pads that I'm using today, I've got the Gina K Ocean Mist, which I love for water, and Kraft for the sand. Then I've also, for the shells, got the Moonlit Fog, the Edible Eggplant, the dark chocolate, and the tomato soup, and we'll also be using this for the greeting. You could also use black, but I just like keeping it really earthy today for this beach scene. So what we're going to do, I've got this scored at 5.5 inches. I'll post the measurements below, but you want to make sure that you have it flat for doing your sponging and your stamping. So I'm going to do the stamping of the shells across first, and I'm doing this in a diagonal. You could do some masking if you want to make it a little bit more realistic, or add some coloring or some shadows, but I'm just trying to keep this really bold and graphic today. So I'm going to start with my largest image. That is the sand dollar, and I'm going to do this in the Moonlit Fog. So I'm just going to put that right there, and I'm just saving room for the greeting and my water above and then the sand below. And next I'm going to do, you don't have to do this in the same order as I did them before, but next I think I'm going to do this scalloped shell and the dark chocolate. Just set that right next to it. And then I'm going to do this little tiny mirror imaged shell that's opening. These are little ones that burrow into the sand, which I love to find. Let's do that right here. And then I'm going to do a couple tomato soup, excuse me. So I'm going to put one down here. And then I'm going to turn it and put it up here. So I like to have colors repeat around my card, but I wanted to use a lot of different colors at the same time. And then I think I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to do one more of this big scallop to have this shape repeat, but this time I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it with the eggplant. So any combination that you want. Okay. And it might look black, but it's just a really, really nice deep purple in real life. Very elegant. Okay, so now the only stamping we have to do is our greeting, but you want to save that for the end because it is going to muddy it up a little bit when you sponge over it. So to keep it really crisp, do that last. So let's do our sponging on the bottom with that Kraft ink for our sand. So I'm just going to swirl this around on the pad, and then I'm going to tap it off. And then I'm just going to gently just rub that onto the bottom. I'm going to go a little darker here at the corner. And you can mask these off if you want, but you see I'm not going all the way up to the edge. Okay, I love that just like that, but you know, we got to do some water here. That's so pretty. Okay, so now what we're going to do before we move on to doing our waves, let's just go ahead and just add just some little tiny speckles here for the sand, and that texture just looks so, so pretty. And I showed this in my seahorse video using these as bubbles with the white ink on the blue. So you can do that as well if you want, but I'm not doing it on this particular card. Okay, so now we're going to switch to our ocean mist. And this dauber is starting to disintegrate a little bit. This one's nice and new. It's got really good sponge on that. So it's kind of coming apart a little bit. I'm going to try to keep that from pilling up and coming off by just dabbing instead of swirling it on my pad. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our scratch paper here and we're just going to create a torn edge, and I just kind of want it to go back and forth to resemble a wave. So I'm just going to put this in the corner here and just go right over this. Okay, I'll pick that up, and then I'm going to move it, and I want to kind of change where that fold is going so that it doesn't just look like it's the same wave over and over again. So I'm going to go up against that. And you see how these little pills that are coming off, and it'll just brush right off, but you want to be careful not to brush them off. I'm just going to blow them off because I don't want to create streaks from those. And those are my sponge dauber. That's my sponge dauber coming apart a little bit. I've had this one for a few years. So we're going to go just right up against the edge. And it's up to you how much you want it to blend into that previous wave. And you can go over and do extra sponging at the end if you want, you know, add into another area. And then for the last one, what I'm going to do here, just tap that off, be careful, is I'm just going to go in and just lightly add that last one. And you just go around it. Don't have to worry about masking the shells unless you really want to. Okay, there's your scene. So quick. And for this one I put, if you want to know how much I love you, count the waves, which I love with these masked waves. But this one I think I'm going to do a different one. So I am going to do, many people walk in and out of your life, but only true friends will leave footprints in your heart. And I'm going to grab a larger block actually for this sentiment because it's a little bit bigger. And the dark chocolate. And that's it. Love it. And then if you want, on the first one, it might have been a little bit hard to see in the video, you can brush over this if you want with a Wink of Stella pen, and it just gives just a little bit of shimmer on those waves. It's kind of hard to see in this light, and I misplaced it on my desk. So I'll just leave it like this. But please do come check out our challenges. This one is over, but we've got a great one this week by Chris Dayton, who is doing white pencils on Kraft. I love the way that that looks, so please come and check that out. Please visit my blog, Hands, Head, and Heart, for more ideas and inspiration with all of my stamp sets, and visit us at Gina K Designs and Stamp TV. Thank you so much for watching this Gifts from the Sea video today. God bless.